What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. We are, of course, proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. If you've got a growing business, they are the people to speak to help you with that growth. Thank you to them again for their sponsorship and their support. Today's a bit of a weird one. It's not really going to be Blades related, particularly. So if that means you're out, then apologies. It's just something. I'm just going to shift focus a little bit, very briefly, because it's just recently been World Mental Health Day. And as many of you that have followed me for a while will know, I'm very passionate about mental health. I struggle with my own mental health from time to time. And it's not going to be a big, heavy episode like that. We're not going to talk about that too much. But it's really sort of talking to you a little bit today about some of the conflicts I've had being on this platform, really. So I started a platform largely due to seeing channels such as the Sheffield United Way and Shore and View. I feel like I had a different perspective that I wanted to give. I'm gobby, as you all now know. I'm very opinionated on United. And I wanted to come on and just sort of release, really. And it coincided with, I've been threatening to do it for ages and I'd never taken the plunge. There's always something stopping you. And there's always a reason not to do it. Again, my mental health were struggling. I lost my mum in June last year, and it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I was going on a big downward spiral, and I needed a focus. I've got my wife and kids. I've got a good job. You know, I've plenty that I could have shifted my focus to, but I needed something new that was a hobby, essentially, that I didn't have. And to fill the void, I thought, I've been talking to my mum about it before she passed, and she'd have definitely just said, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? I spoke to my dad about it. You all know the story now that I saw Nick walking into Triple Point before I knew him. I said to my dad, I could do what he does. And he says, well, why don't you? Why don't you do it? Why don't you switch your camera on and do it? And that's exactly what I've done. And I suppose one of the messages I want to get out today is, if you are in two minds about doing this at all, or anything that's sort of putting yourself out of your comfort zone, taking the plunge, please do yourself a favor and do it. I've got people in our Ramblers chat. I've got people that, you know, subscribers and everything coming up to me and sort of saying, or messaging me privately and saying, Jimmy, how do I get started? And you feel like it's hard not to talk to them like it's a daft question, because I know there's so much more to it than just how do I physically do it. But you have to just press record. You have to press record on your phone. That's all it takes. Record it and you can upload it to YouTube as easy as that. You've all seen my first video. I played it recently.
What's happening, Blades? So, I've been threatening to do this for ages, and it's here now, so I hope you like it. It's a new Blades channel.
What the hell was that?
You've all seen the journey that I've been on, I suppose, and I'm striving to try and get better with every video, and it doesn't always happen, but I'm always looking to make improvements. And eventually you will get there. But there's all sorts of things flying around, because when I've had a little bit of success, you know, we've been nominated for Best New Content Creator at National Football Content Awards. Unbelievable achievement.
Hooray! Well done, Jimbo.
Just for the channel, just to be nominated. We're at over 3,100 subscribers. That is mind-blowing to me in just over a year. I cannot get my head around it. I'm so grateful for the support. But as you get that level of support, and there's a little bit of sort of financial kickback that comes with that, and people say, well, it's for your effort that you've put in. I don't ever want this to be a business, and that's difficult for some people to understand, and it's difficult to not also join in that mindset, because obviously I want the channel to grow, and I want it to be a business without me thinking of it as a business, if that makes sense. If I can make money out of this channel, then absolutely brilliant. But it all gets poured straight back in. So we're all trying to get a studio over there in the background. It's all to make the channel better. So the reason I talk about it is our club recently has gone through a really sticky patch. Really sticky patch. We've had a terrible start to the season. We've not won in 8. We've only got a point on the board. Horrendous return. And I've been getting advice from different quarters, just whether I've asked for it or not. Mate, you have to be a little bit more impartial. You have to hold your tongue a little bit. You know, if you want to grow, then you can't be asking divisive questions and talking about divisive subjects. And maybe that's right for the growth of the channel, but it's not what I want to be as a channel. And that's maybe me being naive, but I have always backed myself on being authentic and not coming on. And if I think Eki should go, I don't want to sit here and say, what do you guys think? Because I'm not sure. I think I can see benefits to both. And I do try and balance it. I'll always try and balance it, but I'll always give you my honest opinion because I think that's what I'd want to hear. If you were down at pub with your mates talking about it, that's what you'd want. You'd want to ask them their opinion and feel like they could do it. Now, with that comes opposing opinions. So what what I've faced and had to put up with is abuse on social media and in the comments, and I've had trolls, as they're known, things like that. But that that has been a learning curve for me, and it sort of could easily put you back in your box and sort of make you a little bit more narrow-minded. Let's just lay the facts on the table and let other people have an opinion about it. Well, it's just not how I want to operate. I didn't become a Sheffield United fan channel to just lay things out there for other people to comment on. I want you to comment. I want you to. I'm confident and I'm proud of the platform that we've got because I feel we've got one of the most interactive platforms out there in in the football creator sphere. I would say because I'm always feeding off your feedback, but it's usually because I've put something out there myself, and I don't want to just be a robot or a puppet or somebody that lays out bland topics to just say, there you go. What do you guys think? I want to be able to come on and say, not good enough. Not good enough. We need more from our club. Or I want to be able to say, absolutely amazing. And this is why I was wrong or I was right. So, despite the advice being sit out, be more impartial, I can't. And I don't apologize for it because this is my club too. It's your club. It's my club. We all have an opinion and all opinions are valid. You don't have to agree with me. I'd ask kindly that you don't abuse me for my opinion. But if you do, I think that reflects more on you than me. I've taken some time out away from social media. It did me the world of good. I am now back. I am stronger for the experience. And I've got a little bit of a thicker skin, I think, because for one, I know where a block button is now, and I'm not afraid to use it for people that are abusive. That won't ever come into effect for people that disagree with me. It's just how you disagree with me. Something else I wanted to talk about as well, very briefly, was if you didn't catch Ollie Norwood's one of their own podcast interview with Paul Walker, absolutely brilliant watch, really good. I've always thought of Ollie Norwood as a bit of a middle of the road, very focused player, sort of doesn't really speak up as a character. That's just my outside opinion, having no knowledge or depth of reasoning to it. He talked about how he broke down in the car on the phone to his agent because he didn't know where his career would going. Without saying it in so many words, his mental health was suffering. And it sort of smacked me that you never know. You never know what players are thinking. So I will continue to give opinions on this channel about players, but I don't ever want people to think it's anything more than just in the context of what I think is best for the club. It's never ever going to be personal. I've no bad word to say about any of these players. I think sometimes if they're playing poorly and they're persisted with, then it's the manager that needs to look at himself. I'm talking along the same lines about the manager as well. You know, if I want Eki to go, that clearly affects him in terms of, you know, it's somebody calling for his head, if you like, and now on a public platform. But it's difficult. It's a difficult balance to strike. But I don't want to just be a silent voice. That's not the reason for the platform. Going back to what I was saying earlier in terms of, believe it or not, before I was on here, and still now to a degree in certain environments, I'm not an overly confident person. I'm not an outspoken person particularly. I think I can be socially awkward at times. So if you feel any of these things, then don't let that stop you doing what you want to do, because I've done this and I can't tell you how positive it's been for me as an experience to be on YouTube and to be accepted. And listen, I don't mean to like I'm different to anybody else. I'm not. I just think it's the journey that I've been on these last 13, 14 months is absolutely incredible. And I often talk to my dad and my auntie, my brother and my wife, everybody that sort of has been there with me through it. Can you believe that this is happening? Can you believe that, we've got the opportunity to do this? I've met Dozy, and I know we all had a bit of a laugh about that, but it was great with me and sort of sat and explained I'm no businessman, but I sat and, I was on 700 subscribers when me and Nick got invited to meet him. And that was the first time I've met Nick. I'm on Sheffield United Way weekly. I've met Prince Abdullah, not in the flesh, but I've had several conversations with him over Zoom and what have you. I've met people like Darren Smith, people I've admired from afar, who, again, were part of my inspiration for wanting to jump on. Johnny from Shore and View, the best editor in the football creator game, bar none. He's the bar that we're all trying to meet. Johnny, who also has struggled with his mental health and has been very open about that. We're not indestructible. Rob Staten, Radio Sheffield, gave me the opportunity not only to come on my channel, but then give me a platform to go on Radio Sheffield and talk about the Ramble and give my opinion. Unreal experience. Benjamin Bloom, who came on the Ramble, I remember before I was on the platform, he used to do a predictions show, and I used to time my lunch breaks at work so I could watch live his predictions show and comment on it, because I thought he was really good at what he did. His knowledge of the Championship is superb. And I would time my lunch break so I could jump on and watch him for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it was. And I would type in, and I remember typing in my predictions and giving me different things on his live stream. I remember first time he read my comment out, and he sort of queried what I'd said or questioned it, or I can't even remember what he did. He might have appreciated it or whatever. I remember ringing my dad and saying, "Oh, Dad, you've got to watch Benjamin Bloom back because he's read my comment out." And it's mad. I don't ever want them sort of feelings to go away, because the things to become involved, and that's how I want people to be, and that's how I want our Ramblers to be, who again speak to me privately and say how feeling part of this community has really helped them. That that alone is enough. That alone is something that you can't put a price on, really. The fact that you're helping people. So anybody out there that has any ambitions of either doing YouTube or doing whatever it is that might step out of your comfort zone, but in my sphere, in my experience, it's been YouTube. Put yourself out there. You'll grow and you'll get better and better and better all the time. If you need help with editing, whatever it might be, you might not think I'm a great editor.
Oh, this is awkward. I'm gonna walk this situation off, and I will see you later.
Go for it. Put yourself out there, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. Bite the bullet and go for it. The other thing I would say is I thank everybody that's given me advice on how to grow, and I'm always open to it. I'm not shutting the door on anybody's advice. I always appreciate it, and it comes from a good place because I've met a lot of good people. And they do want the best for me, despite other people saying other things. But would I rather have accelerated growth on a narrative that I'm not really behind, or would I rather have gradual growth with a message that I'm really proud of, or something that I can at least stand up and say, yeah, that's what I believe in? And it'll always be the second one. I'll always try and be honest and straight with you. And you might not agree. And the fact that I'm on YouTube might mean that you can pull up a video that shows me saying the opposite 4 weeks since. Well, I'm human. Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm going to be die hard in my opinions till the death. If Eki goes and gets 3 wins on bounce, I will be brilliant, Eki. You've turned it around. I didn't think you would, but fantastic. You're our man going forward. As soon as I've said you're our man going forward, somebody pulls up, Eki needs to go. And that's how I genuinely felt at the time. But I think a lot of us would be caught in that if we all had stuff recorded that we were thinking at the time. So it's just another thank you so much for your support. Please stay engaged with the Ramble, because that's what gives this channel life. It's having your opinions me feeding back to you. And now that I'm in a lot better of a place, I'm back, if you like. I'm in a lot stronger place. But a missed call from Hope, for those of you that are asking in terms of the shorts and when's Hope going to be back on the channel. I mean, great, really positive talks with people about further sponsorship and potential business deals with the Ramble, which means we are growing all the time. It's really, really positive. But I'm most proud that we've stuck to our principles when we're doing these sort of things and getting these sort of deals over the line. So thank you for sticking with us. The one thing I will be doing going forward after this video, from this video onwards, is getting back to replying to all your comments, because like I said, I do read them all, but I just haven't had the time. While I've been taking my time out and trying to spend a bit more time with my family and on myself, I've sort of switched off a little bit. I appreciate it's international break, but I missed talking to you. I missed having that interaction, and I'm going to try and jump on and do a live for Ramblers tomorrow, maybe just a Q&A as to what they want to see and what we're thinking now as we've had a bit of time to decompress. So if you are a Rambler, then I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. If you're not a Rambler, then you're more than welcome to sign up. It's $2.99 a month, price of a cup of coffee. But that's completely up to you. While I'm on that, check your membership. If you haven't cancelled, then we've had several drop, and I've already seen a few rejoin. So I'm not sure whether people are actually just cancelling because they don't like the content.
Oh, this is awkward.
Or whether, probably more likely, hopefully, is that there's been an issue with direct debits and people are dropping off. Again, it's a YouTube thing. I'm working on an alternative payment system to support the channel. So we might move over to Patreon. We might move over to some other platform in terms of how you can support instead of the YouTube membership. But that's all to come down the line, and I'll speak to you all about it. And if people aren't comfortable, we won't do it. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades. Ramble on.